Yo, what's up guys? So in today's video, we're going to go over how to use the belt-fed magazines on light machine guns in Black Ops 7 Zombies to your best ability. So if you remember from Black Ops 6, belt-feds on the light machine guns were super popular, especially later in the cycle of the game after they got some buffs. Like, I don't know if you particularly remember the PUL light machine gun in that game. It would literally never overheat, so you could just camp in a corner and fire your gun infinitely as if you had the free fire gobble gum. In Black Ops 7 Zombies though, these belt-fed attachments have really fallen from grace just due to the fact that they tend to overheat really quickly and they've never really received any buffs either. I did find one exception to this though, and that was with the SOKOL 545. This LMG actually has two different fire rates, if you didn't know already, that you can change by pressing the button on either your controller or a key on your keyboard. When you load into a game, this gun is going to default to the slow fire rate of 550 rounds per minute, while the fast fire rate is going to do 896 rounds per minute. And just be aware that when you're at that slow fire rate, you're actually getting a higher damage per bullet, meaning that your damage per second comes out pretty similarly between the two fire modes. This gun also technically has a third fire mode through the prestige attachment, which converts it into a 3-round burst like the 48 Dredge from Black Ops 3. But we're not going to talk about this for this video. This prestige attachment is actually really bad for zombies given the damage per second that it outputs, so I wouldn't recommend it. Here's where it gets interesting though. When you combine the belt-fed magazine with that slower fire rate, your gun fires at a rate that is slower than the rate of overheat on the magazine. So your gun will literally never overheat and you can fire it infinitely. So now where does double tap fit into this equation? Because you should basically always use double tap in your game if you can. Base double tap increases your fire rate by 30%. And if you're using the double time minor augment on double tap, this will further take that number up to 44%. So on the slow fire mode, that'll take your rate of fire up to 715 rounds per minute, or with double time, that'll go all the way up to 792 rounds per minute. Now, where do these fire rates lie in relation to the rate of overheat on the gun's magazine? You'll see you're going to start to overheat a little bit even with that 715 round per minute once you slap double tap on. So this is why I'm definitely going to recommend that you run a different minor augment on double tap aside from double time. That way you can take advantage of that belt fed as much as possible. As you can see here though, even with double tap and my gun fully pack-a-punch, that rate of overheat really isn't anything significant. I was able to get through a single round just fine without ever even overheating my gun and firing it constantly. I was able to put my finger on the trigger for like 45 seconds without ever letting go. So yeah, I know the belt fed magazines in Black Ops 7 Zombies have received a lot of negative attention, but don't be scared to use them, especially on this SOKOL 545. The SOKOL 545 is amazing, especially with this attachment. I know when the gun first released, it was bugged with that multiplier damage scaling applying to zombies, so it still flies under the radar a bit. But you should absolutely use this gun from time to time, especially with this attachment. You'll love it, and the fact that you never have to reload. Thanks for watching guys, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.